In this video, we will discuss the special features of gram-negative bacteria. These special features are pretty different from gram-positive one, so that's why we discuss this in a special lecture. So special features of gram-negative: they have a periplasmic space, which is actually the location of beta lactamase enzyme, which is secreted from the cell into the periplasmic space. Then we have then we have the porins in the outer membrane. Porins transport substances which are secreted from bacteria like beta transmutase, beta lactamase, and other things from across the transporter or transport across outer membrane. Then we have outer membrane. So the outer membrane has three structures: inner porin structure, which is a transporter; middle or embedded, it has embedded proteins; then we have the outer one. Outer layer has LPS or LOS, core, lipid A endotoxin, and O antigen. So endotoxin, we will discuss this endotoxin. Endotoxin means the toxin which is produced, which is released into the produced into the bacteria, and it is not secreted, produced from the cell to the outer membrane part. So this endotoxin performs special functions when the gram-negative cell is lysed, or when it is bleb inside a living cell. Then the endotoxin, which is the lipid A component, it activates three important parts. It activates the innate immunity via TLR, toll-like receptor 4 and CD14. These macrophages releases interleukin 1 and 6, which is the acute phase reactant and pyrogenic, so fever. Macrophages also releases TNF alpha, which can cause fever and hypotension, and also macrophages release nitrogen oxide, important in hypotension. This is endotoxin, also releases also activate complement activation. This complement activation can result in C3A and C5A. C5A is a major neutrophilic chemotactic agent, and C5A and C3, their combined action is histamine release and causes edema and hypotension. Then we have endotoxin, lipid A, the tissue factor activation, which can cause coagulation, cascade activation, which can lead to DIC or death. So as a whole, we have a mnemonic of endotoxin: E for edema, N for nitrogen oxide, which can cause hypertension, D for DIC or die or death, T for TNF alpha, which causes fever, O for O antigen, and then another O is for outer membrane protein. Then we have X for extreme heat labile, extreme like 100 degrees centigrade heat stability. Then we have I for interleukin 1 and 6, N for neutrophilic chemotaxis by C3 and C5, and S for sepsis, septic shock or sepsis. And if we see this pattern, fever, hypertension, edema, DIC, fever and hypertension is specifically show the shock features of sepsis. So in this special feature, because of these special features, the gram negative can cause sepsis in human body.